As Israel and America continue to pound Iran from the air, it's becoming increasingly clear the IRGC is crumbling in front of our eyes. The only viable path forward for them is to outlast America's resolve, and to that end, I believe they have two major tactics that they are currently employing, and that is sleeper cells and oil. And we have major news stories on both of those things. More than likely, at this moment, Iran is being governed by IRGC commanders. Khamenei was killed at the beginning of the war, and officially his successor is his son, Moshtaba. The only problem is Moshtaba was also injured in the strike on his father and is either incapacitated or actually dead himself. In the ceremony announcing his inauguration this week, the IRGC used a cardboard cutout of Moshtaba. Not a good look by any measure. But either way, if he couldn't attend the ceremony, it's unlikely he's actually running the country either, leaving authority in the hands of the IRGC. And that leads us to the strategy they may be employing to survive this war. First, though, if you're a Christian looking for a meaningful Haggadah for your very own Passover Seder, go to the IsraelGuys.store or click the link below. Iran to date has been fantastic at playing America's weakest points. And even though America does have complete air superiority over the skies of Iran currently, we do indeed have a very weak point at the moment, and that is public opinion. Midterms are coming up, and Iran knows it. If Iran can convince a very narrow slice of the American public that this war will be too costly on the home front, then there's a possibility President Trump will fold and end the war early. And to do this, I believe Iran is throwing everything they have into their sleeper cells and the control of oil. Plus, they're paid propagandists posing as independent American journalists, but we won't get into that right now. Reports are now circulating that shortly after Khamenei was killed, there was a broadcast on a shortwave radio frequency that could be picked up in America. The broadcast began with a voice repeating the Persian word for attention several times, and then went on to read a random string of numbers. This seems like an old school tactic from the Cold War days where you would transmit a covert message via code over public radio, and only the people who could decipher the code would know what the message would say. We don't know if the American intelligence have been able to read the code from that Iranian broadcast or others like it, but either way, they are treating it publicly as an activation message for Iranian sleeper cells. President Trump, in a statement about this, said that they are on top of the situation. He said they are watching every single one of them and they know a lot about them, assuming he's talking about Iranian terrorists on American soil. And to this end, the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security have been on a very high level of alert and probably will continue to be so for the near future. We know that Iran does have capacity to operate in the U.S. Just a few years ago, the IRGC was caught in a credible plot to assassinate Mike Pompeo and also John Bolton. Also in 2024, this is something a lot of people forget, but another Iranian was caught in a plot to assassinate President Trump himself, and thankfully he wasn't successful. Right now, police departments across America are preparing for the threat of possible violence, including assassination attempts and bombs, dirty bombs, hijackings, hostage taking, etc. And we have seen an uptick in violence in recent days as well. A little over a week ago, a Muslim man carried out a shooting in a bar in Texas, killing 3 and injuring 14 more. Police found Iranian flags in his car. In Cyprus, a Hamas member was just arrested by authorities in a plot to smuggle weapons to Europe for the purpose of a terrorist attack. Today in California, 2 Israeli Americans were attacked by 3 men who were overheard yelling in the attack, "Don't mess with Iran" and "F the Jews." The 2 Israelis were beaten but survived the attack, thankfully. And we don't know if this is directly tied to Iran, yet 2 ISIS members threw homemade bombs at protesters outside of New York Mayor Mamdani's residence. Thankfully, the bombs didn't explode, but it could have been a major attack. So Iran's sleeper cells are operating, meaning more attacks could be coming, but thankfully it seems like the scale of these attacks have been limited. Do remember, though, the purpose of these attacks is for Iran to demoralize the American people, pressuring Trump to end the war before the IRGC are completely destroyed, meaning it's kind of more of an illusion of widespread danger than anything else. meaning we as the American public should, of course, stay on high alert, but also not allow ourselves to give in to fear. Cowering to and negotiating with people who want to kill you will not work out in the end. The other tactic Iran is employing is a tactic that could be very effective, and that is the control of oil. As one would expect, the price of oil has been massively fluctuating since the beginning of the war. As a result, we've already seen the price of gas go up at the pump here in the United States. Trump knows this and also knows the effect that this has on the American public, and he has been taking steps to mitigate an additional rise in prices. But the Iranians also know what's happening, and they are attempting to swing the situation to their advantage. And to do this, they are attempting to close the Strait of Hormuz by mining it, because about 20% of the world's oil supply moves through that strait, meaning cutting it off would massively jack up prices in the US. According to reports, Iran is estimated to own somewhere between 2,000 to 6,000 naval mines and could use small boats to place the mines across the strait, closing access for large ships. In response, President Trump said, "If Iran has put any mines in the Hormuz Strait and we have no reports of them doing so, we want them removed immediately. If for any reason mines were placed and they are not removed forthwith, the military consequences to Iran will be at a level never seen before. If, on the other hand, they remove what has been placed, it will be a giant step in the right direction." To put action to word, the U.S. military destroyed some 16 Iranian mine-laying ships last night, and I would imagine there will be more of that over the next few days. In Israel, even though Iran continues to fire missiles, less and less of them are reaching their intended targets. Last summer, in the 12-day war, Iran launched some 1,600 missiles and drones at Israel over the course of the war, and the Israeli government had over 53,000 claims for damages filed from those attacks. So far, 11 days into this war, Iran has launched less than 600 missiles and drones at Israel, and the damage claims are totaling less than 10,000. Thank God. The main damage Israel seems to be sustaining is primarily through the AI videos on social media, where every day there's a new video of Tel Aviv being completely burned to the ground from a single rocket strike. Thankfully, none of these are true. Guys, if you want to share the truth about what's actually happening in Israel and the Middle East, give this video a like, share it with a friend, and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Also, if you have trouble finding our videos, you can subscribe to our Telegram channel where we send out these videos as soon as they're published. Also shorts as well that we don't publish publicly. You can find the link for that in the description below. And if you want a really cool Haggadah for your Passover Seder this year, you can get your own at theisraelguys.store or click the link in the description below. As always, thanks for watching.